summer's evening, standing on the mound. The ballpark's full of cheering crowd. Home team's back in town with all pitches at his
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Painting Corners Baseball Podcast. I'm your co-host, Johnny C., joined always by Aidan Smith. We're stoked. The wine-drinking, cigar-smoking, dugout Italian champions, delicioso, Dylan de Lucia, somehow almost closes a game without making it look too much like Little League, and Team Italy is in the semifinals, and they're playing Team Venezuela. And we're talking the World Baseball Classic tonight. Mason Miller, low strike three calls included. I'm rocking the Strohs gear because spring training's going great for hopeful friend of the pod, Joey Loperfido. Aiden, what are you doing this week, brother?
Well, cousin Johnny, I got split screen Team Venezuela, Italy. I got our notes up, and I got your handsome mug in the bottom right corner of my PC. So we're rocking and rolling.
I love it. How's Venezuela, Italy shaping up so far? I'm pulling up the game.
So right now we got Michael Garcia, huge hit, go ahead run. Man, that kid's must watch. Like, he went 5 for 5 the other day. He had that 5.8 B WAR in 2025, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he was an MVP contender. Because what the glove can do, the way he can run, the way he slaps the ball around. I mean, Luis Severino, a huge hit. Brings in another one. It's 4-2 Venezuela. Luis always comes through, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I feel like Luis hits like 600 in those spots. I don't know. I don't know what it is, you know?
After the birth of your son, Luis Arias hitting 600 in tight spots is like really the highlight of your existence.
Well, like I said, I mean, my second delay after the birth of my child will be Luis hitting 30 bombs this year. You know?
Let's go, dude. So, I mean, Michael Garcia is really what sticks out to me in my notes from the Japan game. I know we're, live streaming Italy, Venezuela, and we'll get there, but man, so just a background for the fans, like, there was some real post-game suspense because I didn't get to watch that live. So I'm watching the highlights with my son, and we're watching Venezuela do some damage to Japan, and then Japan comes back. And who was it hit the 3-run bomb? It was like...
Makashita.
So
you're talking about, when
Morishita
Seiya went down. Well, yeah, Morishita, because Seiya was hurt when he was picked up. He was caught stealing, right? And then they put in Morishita, and he hit that 3-run bomb, and you're like, oh, whoa, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Venezuela was off to a good start, and then Sato ties with a double in the third off Suarez. Suarez was looking pretty good up until then. Morishita just like insult to injury, 3-run bomb, 5-2, game is over. Then the fifth comes up, and I'm just watching the highlights with my son, and then it's like, wow, Acuna, that's not a strike three check swing. Vibes are off. Poor Venezuela. It's going to be Japan's game to lose. And then Michael is like, yo, what's up? 2-run shot, 5-4. We got a ball game again. And then Ito just gets rocked and the wheels fall off, and ex-Astros farm system Willie Abreu does his job. But man, Michael, dude, row the boat ashore. Hallelujah.
Well, you know what's crazy about Team Japan too is, I mean, they did have the guys that they wanted competing. They don't have an ito with getting guys to participate because of, the national pride and everything in the culture. And so Sato was the MVP last year in the MPB, and then you have Ito was the Sawamura this past year, I believe. So, they had their big guys from the MPB side. Then you got Murakami, you got Seiya, you got Shohei, you got Yamamoto. I mean, you got Kikuchi. So, I mean, they were pretty stacked. But I will say, part of the problem for Team Japan, Samurai Japan, is that their pitching staff was starter heavy. So it was about 75% of their roster was starting pitching, which I found to be interesting because it seemed like late in the game against Venezuela and really throughout once Yamamoto was pulled, it felt like they needed just a 98 mile an hour four-seamer and a slider. And,
Wow, that is the incisive. That is great. That's what I come here for. So that is actually a novel take. Like, the ratio of starters that can throw like, Japanese starters, right? They've got like 7 pitches in their arsenal. And it's like, my brother, we do not need a gyro ball right now. We need a 98 mile an hour four seam and a wipeout slider. That's all we need. Okay. They're pressing. They're trying to win this game. Wipeout slider time, not gyro ball time.
Exactly. And, Kikuchi's a stuff guy, right? He's less command, but like a Sugano, who actually pitched really well, he had 4 scoreless innings in the tournament. But when you look at a guy like Sugano, he's a great example because he had a sub-2 ERA before he left the NPB, multiple Sawamura awards. I mean, this guy's decorated. Comes over to Baltimore. He had a rough year. He gave up, 36 homers or something? I mean, he led the league in homers against. So... I'm not saying that Sugano can't be successful in the major leagues, but it is a different game with different rules and different talent. And, they were missing the velocity, and I think they were missing spin too. Like they could have used like a Yu Darvish. I think a Yu Darvish would have gone a long way.
As for Team Italy right now, playing Venezuela, who is leading the Italy team? Team Italia tonight
Pass
in hits.
watch?
No.
Tonight, yeah.
Astros farm favorite Zach DeZenzo, obviously, playing DH. Let's real quick on this Italy team. Because after Ito gets rocked and kind of the wheels fall off with some wild throws, it was really Venezuela's game. Yeah. Let's jump into Italy's crazy run, I guess. Before we get back to live game coverage or cover the USA DR, I think that's something we have to do. I didn't realize a couple weeks ago, we were going over WBC rosters, that they had Jack. They had Cags.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize they had Cags.
Well, they also have Prime Aranola, apparently.
Really? How's he been doing?
Aaron's been unreal. I mean, he had 5 scoreless innings in his first start. And then he pitched pretty well tonight against Venezuela, which is a really tough lineup. So
no kidding.
But Italy's got a 940 OPS in this tournament, 12 bombs in 6 games.
It was looking like Little League out there when they were playing Puerto Rico, though. And that's
what's wild?
Yeah.
The DR hit 300 with 15 bombs in 6 games.
Wait, what? The DR hit what?
They hit 300 with 15 bombs in 6 games.
Oh my gosh.
And they only scored 1 run yesterday. So, really they did all their damage in 5,
We could really jump just to the USA DR because all I have in my Italy notes is like every pitcher name that they threw up there and how it kind of looked like Little League and the walks were crazy. And at one point it was like 8-6. The Puerto Rico, and I was like, this is not by virtue of like baseball. This is walks and wild throws. Let's jump to USA DR. Severino was freaking amazing. Luis was ex-Yankee.
Well, so last year I think he averaged 95 on the fastball and the four-seamer, and last night it was 98. So wow. There was extra pop. And so, when people are looking at Sevy's numbers the last couple of years, it's like, wait a second, why can't Team USA rock this guy? It's a different Severino. I mean, he looked more like the Severino that got Cy Young votes, 8 years ago.
In your esteemed baseball, genius, photographic genius you got going on here, why is Sevy throwing 98? Is he hyped with adrenaline from the WBC, or did he go to the pitching lab and figure something out to add 3 miles an hour?
Probably a combo. I mean, I do think he's throwing harder, but I think a lot of it is just adrenaline from the moment and where you're at. So
got it.
Do I think we're going to see him throw 98.5, in April next month? No, I don't think so. I think he's probably going to sit at, 96, 97. But I mean, even if he's doing that though, I mean, yeah, he's a different guy. I mean, how different a fastball pops. 94 to 97 is a big difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. He was the highlight, and then Roman steps up and gets a little solo shot action. That was wonderful. And Skenes did Paul Skenes things.
Yeah, Skenes did pretty well. He did give up 6 hits, 2 Ks, I believe. Just going off of memory here, but Mexico, he was dominant. I think he had 7 Ks. He
Yeah.
gave up a couple hits, so but completely different talent level from a lineup standpoint. So I mean, I don't think Skenes was on his best game, but I think he had, a reasonable 70th percentile game or, what have you. I mean, he was still awesome, considering who he was facing.
Young kid who, yeah, he's already won a Cy Young. He's not just a young kid anymore, but man, heat of the moment in the WBC, and you're getting outs. Like, yeah, when you look at the line, it's not a pretty Paul Skenes outing, but he did his job, right? Like, they were happy when he left the game, and they brought in, what was it? Was Bednar the first relief? No, it was the submariner, Tyler Rogers.
Yeah.
They were stoked when he came out.
Well, Tyler got them out of a big moment there.
Yeah, was that a double play that he turned on?
Yeah,
no,
he got a ground ball.
rode over. Yeah, that's right.
Tyler got the ground ball, though. And obviously we all know they won by 1. But, Paul had the bases loaded partially because Bryce went to transfer on that double play ball that Bobby threw to him.
Right.
And the ball just jumped out of the glove. You're trying to transfer and the ball just completely had a mind of its own. And ends up behind second base. So I feel like Skenes got 4 outs that inning. So there are a few things like that where, okay, maybe Skenes gave up 6 hits, but there are also moments where the defense didn't help.
Fip, whip, hooray. And then Tyler Rogers, that's right, he gets Soto to roll over. Witt does that kind of come back to the bag, make sure he touches it to turn 2. That was nice. Lock that down. Let's get into the back half of the game, or the end game. 7th inning was really Dominican shot, I feel like, in retrospect. You got 2nd and 3rd. Tatis is up, 1 out. And then Bednar absolutely Ks Tatis and then Marte. Excellent pitches, swinging.
Big time.
So let's stash that in the back of our brain before we continue on here. When we say the Whitlock K on Soto was absolute trash. And you could make the argument that bad call, now Vladdy's pressing and Machado has that horrible swing, waving at a ball like 5 feet off the plate. Maybe because of that bad call, they're pressing more, and that's why we get those outcomes. But really, the Dominican truthers will say, Miller was not finding the zone, and that was a rough call to end the game with J-Rod on 3rd.
With Perdomo, yeah. And, Perdomo can run. And so it's not that much of a stretch to think that if he gets on, he's on second base in a couple of pitches. 2nd
and 3rd, and now you're putting pressure on Miller even more. Right, totally. Right.
Also because, guys like Mason, Mason's right-handed, so he would have had Perdomo to his back, which means Perdomo probably could have taken second.
Exactly.
There were a few big moments that defined the game. I don't think necessarily you could say full bore that the U.S. won because of the Perdomo strike call, but it was a big play. I mean, there were a few game-changing moments to me. One of the big ones for USA is obviously Gunnar gets that 9-pitch at-bat in the 4th inning, hits the ball, smokes it, 106 velo, 400 feet. I mean, he worked Sevy good on that AB. And, the kid should go back and watch that AB. Because it shows that when you foul balls off, you don't chase, you keep yourself in the game and you give yourself opportunities. And if Gunnar doesn't hit that ball, we have 340 million person country disappointed in this outcome. So huge. I mean, that's just such a big swing. And that's a testament to how stacked this lineup is. But then you also had Roman who went deep. And that kid, I really do think he's going to win MVP at some point. Wow. But 108 miles an hour off Soto, which is a lefty-lefty matchup. So Soto did miss, I will say that. But to be a lefty-lefty at 21 years old, you got an MLB veteran throwing smoke. And lefty-lefty don't care. 21 years old, smokes it.
That's very impressive. Reminded me, the 9-pitch Gunnar at bat, what you said last week about spring training, that when guys don't get outcomes, what the coaches are watching for someone who's on the edge that could crack a roster is how you work an at bat that can lead to other outcomes. And while you were talking just now, I was thinking about a blackjack team, like, counting cards in a casino. And I'm thinking of that movie 21,
Sure. Well,
right?
let's go
And it's
there.
like, yeah, it's like when you're it's not just your at bat that you're helping by seeing the ball better. It's not just the team you're helping by maybe getting the starter out early by tiring him out. It's like you're getting him to reveal early on in the game his variations and his pitch to pitch tunneling and selection, what he does in a certain moment that can really help another batter in the on deck circle in the dugout with all the iPads. It's sort of like getting the table hot and ready to strike for the card. It's counting cards is another way to put it.
Well, exactly. And that's a really good observation and incisive analysis. I think that the second time around the lineup, one of the reasons why the numbers jump up, particularly the third time around the lineup with the starter, is because, I don't know if the casual fan notices this, but you might have 4 or 5 pitches. One or two of them might not be working that day. By the third time around the lineup, you know what that guy's going to. So
Right.
even if he has 5 pitches in the bag on paper, he
Wow.
might practically have 3.
You flesh it out faster. Whereas if you're swinging at the first pitch and popping up to the second base side, you are giving the pitcher an out when all their pitches aren't working.
Right.
They can hide and obfuscate that more. Yeah, wow.
Well, and also think about this. Imagine I'm starter and I'm pitching to you, but it's the third inning and you've already seen that my first time through the lineup.
Yeah.
I've thrown that slider 10 times.
Yep.
And 8 of them were balls. I got a couple chases, but I can't really throw it for strikes consistently.
Yep.
That's a tell, right? And when I have the bags loaded because I'm losing my command, am I going to throw that slider and risk a pass ball, a wild pitch? Probably not. So I'm probably going fastball. I'm probably going changeup. So it's those kinds of things where, and this is where hitters who pay attention excel is things like that.
Right. Fun fact back to Italy, they are the home team. So they get to wrap twice more, and they're only down by 2. Willier got out. I think Nichols was pitching for Team Italy. A nice
Nicholas,
clean. Nicholas, okay, had a nice clean 8th. So we got big bat 2 for 3, Zach DeZenzo out of Ohio State. Go Buckeyes. Caglione after that, and Fisher. That's who's due up in the bottom of the 8th. 2 runs to go. You think Italy can do it?
Yeah, I'm going to make a prediction here. So who last pitched? So they have Bizzardo in, and man, you got to think they're going to a lefty with Caglione and Fisher coming up, right? They're not going to leave Bizzardo in for that matchup. They might leave him in for DeZenzo, but you got to think they're going to a lefty, right? Oh, they're going with Machado. Man, so they're going to go with NPB stud reliever Machado to face DeZenzo and the 2 lefties. I don't know. I think I'm going to a lefty there for the 2 big outs at the end of the inning. I mean, what do you think, Johnny?
I think you got to. And this is something in my notes is with the WBC, I've been noticing like pitching is kind of a crapshoot. It's like, are you a warm body? And part of the game is how many of the hit by pitches that are inevitably going to come going to cause broken fingers in baseball players? Like, when Seiya did the little ankle sprain, whatever he did on that slide into second, I felt like that was the first injury I've seen in the WBC that wasn't because a pitcher hit somebody.
Yeah, the guy on Taiwan, Chinese Taipei, broke his thumb or his finger. I can't remember. That is because he got hit, isn't it?
I know Altuve got knocked in 2023. Someone else got hit this year. I mean, it was a lot of people getting hit for sure, but that's just the worry I have. Is like pitchers are not warmed up, and then the high adrenaline and they're pressing without so it's like also their elbows I'm thinking about. When you're just jumping into that level of intensity without a proper spring training ramp up, and then it's like you just risky.
I have a few interesting stats for you, and then I want to give you a couple of quick quizzes to see what you got here.
Uh-oh.
So, what internationally acclaimed roster that got bounced prior to the semifinal do you think hit 168 in the tournament?
What was the word that was hyphenated next to acclaimed? You said nationally acclaimed?
Internationally acclaimed, baseball. Like the country has a reputation for ball.
Korea.
Cuba hit 168 in
Oof.
4 games.
Oof.
Full play.
That's because Randy wasn't playing for them.
Yeah, Team Mexico, yep. So Taiwan led the tournament in stolen bases, even though they only had 4 games. They stole 10 bags.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's there are teams that had different skill sets. I mean, obviously Taiwan did not have the smoke to advance. But it was close there for a while. The DR had a 1.98 ERA, 1 dot in the OPS. I mean, that team was just ridiculous. And if you play that game 10 times, I mean, how many times is the US winning that game? 5?
Maybe once.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know, but maybe once. Like that's I guess what I'm getting at is you give me Machado, Tatis, Vlad Jr., and Juan Soto in a lineup, and I get 10 games to see what they're going to do. Come on.
Right. Well, you know what the tell is, as a Mariners fan, is Julio being the 7th hitter. So
that's a pretty good 7th hitter.
Julio hitting 7th, and then you got Perdomo hitting 9th. It's like, what? That's such a crazy lineup.
That's sick, dude. Man. Well, I kind of want to see the end of this Italy game. I don't know. It's 2 outs. Ooh.
So let me ask you, Johnny, before, and we can pop off for the 9th if you want, but I do want to inquire if, let's assume Venezuela advances just because it's the current situation if it plays out.
Sure.
Who's winning? What's your prediction for the score? Because I don't know if you've seen this, but Venezuela was one of 2 dark horses that I had before the tournament started. So I had Venezuela with a shot to win it all, and then I had Korea, who that didn't age as well. But yeah, what's your prediction?
Okay, so how many days of rest does Ranger Suarez get? That affects my decision.
So let's think about it. So he pitched against Japan. What day was Japan?
2 days.
2 days. So tomorrow's USA game. So 3 days rest?
Ooh, that's dicey.
And you got to go to Ranger, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to because he's a lefty and there's some lefties in the lineup. But what about the U.S.? Like, who are they going to throw? Skenes can't throw again, can he?
No.
Dude, obviously Venezuela's going to win.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you don't have Tarek, obviously. So there were rumors that we were going to have Joe Ryan and then no Joe Ryan. It was like whiplash, Oh, we have Joe Ryan. Oh, we don't have Joe Ryan. So Montero, who threw today, couldn't throw strikes. So I don't even if he was rested, I wouldn't necessarily want him starting.
Right.
I don't know. There's only so many guys to go to here for Venezuela.
Eduardo Rodriguez, how much did he pitch recently?
Yeah, they're going to probably have to go to Eduardo. Because Eduardo is rested. But
we have to think about Red Sox and first-year Tiger Eduardo. Remember that year with the Tigers in 22 or 3? 3. He was good.
If they go to Senzatella, I'm boycotting Venezuela. Right?
Wait, why?
I mean, because Senzatella's awful.
That's very insensitive of you.
Well, he's a pro, right? So obviously I'm being
he can take it. That's right. Hey, I don't need to be so, sensitivity police for Senzatella.
Well, Senzatella, has had a nice career. He's made some money.
Let's go.
But in the context of facing an all-time lineup, he's going to get cooked. He had a 6.65 ERA last year. It was Coors Field, but still.
He's gonna get cooked, dude. But
cooked.
let's play a game real quick. It's called Does It Matter If You Only Give Up Home Runs? Because is your offense better than that? You got red hot MVP Michael Garcia. He's batting .429. Luis Severino is batting .500.
He's been
Unreal. You got Gleyber Torres with just probably the best eyebrow hairline in humanity right now. Eugenio Suarez, close second to that same stat. And then ex-Astro farm system, Wilyer Abreu. Jackson Churrio's been kind of like 167 meh. Oh, yeah, this guy named Ronald Acuna Jr., you might have heard of him. It's like, give me those guys over Team USA's lineup so far. Because it's been meh. Like Bregman? Nah. Harper? Nah. It's just really Judge with some little flashes of Bobby and Gunnar and Roman Anthony, apparently.
And I will say, I've been very impressed by Aaron in right field. I mean, he's had a couple lasers.
Oh, yeah, that throw to third base.
He's had a couple. Well, he had a laser to home, too, remember? But, yeah, the one to third was crazy. Churrio's had nice, we've seen some nice outfield assists. There was that incredible relay that Canada did where Owen Caissie, fellow Marlin, throws to Otto, also a Marlin, at short for the perfect relay to throw the guy out. That's one of the best relays I've ever seen. And for the Canadians / Marlins, what a moment.
You think Peter Bendix was watching that and just thinking to himself, like, that's the missing piece I needed for my sigil stone? So, like,
well,
to catch...
I actually think that Peter comes from the future. So
yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Right. So that's a belief. That's my truth. That Peter Bendix
that's my truth.
Is from the future. He's back from the future.
That's right.
And Peter knew that relay was going to happen. Maybe that's why he got Owen Caissie, just so that he could see the relay.
Owen Caissie on the case. OC Orange County. Fish speaker Peter Bendix coming out of the spice trance of Dune to help humanity piece it back together.
Maybe Peter is House Atreides. Maybe Peter is House Atreides.
That's a good point.
And he's kind of like one of the last rulers of House Atreides. When everything's crumbling.
Right. Do you think Owen Caissie he got Owen Caissie to play for the Marlins because he's a descendant of Jim Caissie, the Christ figure of the Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck? Do you think that's what's going on in his
wow. I mean, nice pull. I would not have been able to name that character for sure.
Well, that's the thing. I just think it's a fact. I think Peter Bendix is the one little domino holding up all of humanity on top of it. Every Linux kernel push, everything Linus Torvalds has ever written in code, Peter Bendix is behind it. Great empires, every invention, the sun, Peter Bendix.
Well, people talk Gini coefficient, all these other advanced metrics to see how well we're all living. But, to me, it's pretty simple. We have the WBC, and they didn't have the WBC 100 years ago. So, to me, we are in an awesome time. And with that, I want to go watch the bottom of the ninth, and hopefully Venezuela can ride this thing on out, take it home.
Y'all have a good night. Painting-corners.com. We're going to go catch some WBC. Team Italia pulling it out. Merch store on the website. A lot of good stuff coming. We're all over the socials. You know where to find us. It's your boys, Painting Corners. Adios.
Baseball for the loyal fan from spring into fall. Aidan's talking.